another extended learning workshop here with Shweiki Media. My name is Ryan Dohrn from 360 Ad Sales Training and Revenue Strategy, previously Brain Swell Media. We're just doing a few things over here where we're really focusing our efforts on ad sales training and revenue strategy, but nothing's going to change here with our friends at Shweiki Media, our partner in this venture. We're still going to be providing a ton of great revenue strategy information for all of you as a part of this webinar training series and program. So thanks so much for being here. A great topic today. We're going to talk about revenue tech trends. And these are things that you want to be watching as a publisher, business owner, etc., in 2013 and beyond. So whether you watch it right January, February, or the start of next year, all these things are still going to apply. The interesting thing is how times have changed. Here's a quote from a long time ago. Everyone acquainted with the subject will recognize it as a conspicuous failure. Think about that for a second. I mean, who do you think said that, or what was it that they were talking about in the past? Everyone acquainted. We're talking about trends, new ideas. Who said that in the past, or what were they talking about? Everyone acquainted with the subject will recognize it as a conspicuous failure. Any guesses? That have been Thornton, president of the Stevens Institute. In 1880, he was talking about Edison's light bulb. How about that? Here's another blast from the past. 18,000 vacuum tubes and weighs 30 tons. Computers in the future may only have 1,000 vacuum tubes, perhaps only weigh 1.5 tons. That was Andrew Hamilton from a Popular Mechanics article not that long ago, in 1849. My, how things have changed and how badly people predict the future. Here's another good one for you. There's no reason for an individual to have a computer in his home. Who said that? That would have been Ken Olson. He was the president and chairman and founder of DEC, which sold eventually, I believe, to IBM. And that was in 1977. He was talking about predictions to the world future society. Let me go back to that quote. That was, there is no reason for an individual to have a computer in his home. How funny is that? The horse is here to stay, but the automobile is only a novelty, a fad. Who said that in the past? And the president of the Michigan Savings Bank advising Henry Ford's lawyer not to invest in the motor company. You know, the interesting thing about all of these types of predictions is that very often things are wrong. Now, am I saying that to try to cover something, to cover my bases? No, I'm telling you this because what I'm going to present to you today can go a multitude of different directions as we roll forward, even in the next 6 to 10 months. But this is one thing that won't change. Number one, revenue tech trend. You expect and they demand interaction from you as a publisher, from your editorial team, from your marketing team. So what can you do to live up to this expectation? The first is a lot of publishers actually signed up for a Twitter account, really learn about it, and they really have not embraced it. 2013, one of the things that you may want to consider is really embracing Twitter. See, the thing about Twitter that makes Twitter such an extensive and such an awesome resource is that people that are engaged are highly engaged. So how can you make money from it, and how can you incorporate it into your overall flow? The first piece is, here's an example here from Fox News. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a conversation that begins on a regular basis. So what you need to do in most cases is you want to talk to your editorial team and you want to say, listen, guys, what are we going to do in 2013 that's going to be different, okay, than we did in 2012 in regards to Twitter? Here's some ideas for you. One, start with scheduled updates. What are those updates? You can use software like Hootsuite. You can use software like TweetDeck to schedule tweets in advance. A lot of times what many folks don't understand is you need to tweet out on a very regular basis, even sometimes the exact same tweet, to make sure that you don't miss people. You want to be creating conversations when it comes to Facebook, it comes to Twitter. You want to make sure you keep these things pointed and short, and you want to make sure that you share them on a regular basis. Don't confuse Twitter with Facebook. They're two completely, distinctly different social media animals. is something you're going to update on a very, very, very regular basis, maybe even 10 to 12 times a day. Facebook might be once, maybe once a day, depending on the size of your organization, the staffing. Remember something, Twitter is seen and is known as a feed. Notice something on the screen, though, previous that's so important for you to consider. You need to learn about it. You need to embrace it. It has to start from the top and work its way down. The same type of thing when you're talking about Facebook. It's so important for you to consider that, A, do you have a Facebook page? The answer is probably yes. But the second piece of this is conversations are key. When it comes to Facebook, you have to be looking for ways to create conversations. So how do you do that? It's actually very, very easy. Before you go and post something on Facebook, think about this. How can I ask it as a question? It's as simple as that. How can I ask what I'm about to post as a question? If you can do that, then what you're going to find is you're starting conversations. See, that's not a hard change to make for most folks, and because it's not, it's pretty easy to roll forward with. The second thing is you want to make sure that you eliminate communication barriers to users. You want to give them ways, multitudes of ways, to communicate with you as a publisher. A lot of times I'm going to go visit your magazine website or your newspaper website or whatever. When it comes to you getting in touch, a user getting in touch with you, it's very difficult. Most of you don't list your email addresses, most of you because you don't want to get spam. Most of you have a simple contact form, which is very, very impersonal. It's hard to find a phone number. It's difficult to communicate on Facebook. You don't list yourself on Facebook or in multiple ways. In 2013, consider eliminating communication barriers to users. And it's something that might help you in terms of creating better interaction. So users demand interaction. What are you going to do to increase your interactions in 2013 with your users? Remember something, with your readers. Remember something. The higher the level of interaction, the higher the level of money that you can charge to be involved in those conversations to users. Next tech trend, mobile device battles. What does it mean? Well, I think we all realize that there's a mobile war that's being waged. We're not talking about tablets yet. We're talking mostly about phones, but tablets are just growing in crazy, crazy popularity. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but in 2013, will pass PCs to be the most common web access tool. By 2015, over 80% of handsets in mature markets will be smartphones. 20% of those will be Windows phones. That's interesting. 67% of podcast listeners don't mind sponsorship messages. Have you considered actually taking the interviews that you're doing for articles in your magazine and actually recording those when you're doing them on the phone and creating a podcast schedule? 67% of podcast listeners don't mind sponsorship messages and occasionally find them useful, compared to only 6% expressed for the advertising approaches of television or commercial radio. So that as a magazine publisher or newspaper publisher, whatever, are able to actually go in and record interviews, keep them short, keep them sweet, create a podcast schedule. Some people say, podcast. Oh, Ryan, that's so old school. That just really is not the case, because so many people are scheduled to receive podcasts through iTunes, or you make those interviews available as an MP3 file. People will listen to them in their cars. They'll listen to them on their iPod, iPhones, headsets, etc. It's important to remember when we're talking about mobile connectivity that you have some good plans. Nearly 80% of podcast consumers agreed that when price and quality is equal, they prefer to buy products from companies that advertise or sponsor the podcasts that they regularly listen to. So it's not just about text. See, the reason I'm bringing this up is a lot of people have forgotten about audio. And audio is a great trend, a great tech trend for 2013 that you really want to distinctly pay attention to. In 2013, if mobile devices are going to pass PCs to be the most common web access tool, ask yourself, what are you going to do in 2013 to have a distinct presence on mobile? If what you're doing is, we've got an app that shows our digital edition, if that's your mobile strategy for 2013, call me, because you need to do so much more than that. One thing you might consider is the avenue of audio. Next, big data is it. Big data is big daddy, okay, in 2013. I say that to be funny, but I also say it because it's so important. What will you do to connect and entertain? What is your plan? If I called you right now and I email it to me right now, could you physically email me a copy of your big data plan? See, time the customers that I work with, the clients I work with, they can't do that because they don't have a big data plan. Remember, I said this before, and I'll say it again. In the end, he who owns the data is going to win. And it's so important for you to figure out, are you using contests and promotions? I mean, what are you doing? See, I think one of the best resources out there that you can have available to you is a contest and promotions calendar. A tool set that you can use to consistently sell the contest to sponsors, as well as collect that data so you can have it, harvest it, mine it, and just lock it down because it's going to be so important for revenue in the future. You might say contests are kind of hard to execute. I say they're not. They're not because you've got companies like Second Street Media out there that provide a contesting engine that's going to take an easy contest, like a photo sharing contest. Let's say, the cutest dog or whatever. It's going to collect the photos. It's going to share that contest on Facebook. It's going to make it available on all mobile devices, on your website. So I really think there's resources out there, but it starts with a contest and promotional calendar for 2013. Your editorial calendar, right? What your contest and promotional calendar say? Is every month spelled out? Are your salespeople able to sell it months and months in advance? Do you have prizes for your advertisers? What is it that you're doing to really keep that thing really rolling forward in a big, robust, and fresh way so that you have data that you have in mind later on? Remember something, when that contest entry comes in, what I really want you to do is take that contest entry, legally peel it off. So you can put it on the sales list, you put it on the e-newsletter list, you can put it on your podcast list. It's so important for you to remember something. In the end, it's so important to remember that big data is going to, what's your plan? 2013 for big data. And when you have that plan written out, send it over to me. I'll be happy to give you a thoughtful opinion of it. All right? Next tech trend, tablets. What are you going to do with tablets in 2013? Remember, mobile is distinctly different than tablets. Okay? So if your plan is not even to attack one device, then you really have got a problem on your hands. What I want to urge you to do is survey the most common user demo in your market. Don't assume. Remember something. We've talked about this time and time again. Assumptions kill publishers. There was a time in a day, I remember it, when your assumptions guided everything that you did. Now you don't have to make such broad assumptions. You can call all these folks and really find out what is it that they want, that they demand, and more importantly than that, what is it that they desire? Tablet perspective. If 85% of your people are on iPad, which they're probably not, if 85% of them, are on the Kindle Fire, which is probably not the case, find out what the market mix is and make sure that you're beginning to put some type of plans together. Remember something, the Kindle Fire is expected to be a huge seller over the holiday season. You've got the iPad and the iPad Mini. They don't dominate the market because of the price point. The iPad Mini might help. But you have got 35 different major manufacturers, 35 tablet manufacturers that are right now currently promoting their tablet product. So what plan? Are you just digital edition? Is that a part of your tablet plan? Is your website completely optimized to scale for the screens that are out there on the various tablets? I have my iPad here in front of me, pulled up a customer's website today, and it wouldn't even fit. It wouldn't even fit correctly on a standard, good, old-fashioned iPad. So ask yourself, what are we going to do in 2013? Is app? I don't know. I don't know that that's necessarily the best route to go. I think what I want to do is think about things in their simplest form. And my website work on all major tablets and all major tablet browsers. That's the first step. So write that down. I'm going to ask my IT team to make sure that our website, in its basicest form, functions on all tablet devices. next step might be, well, great. We're going to keep printing magazines, folks. Of course we're going to keep printing magazines. What are we going to do with our digital edition so that it's really on steroids when to placing it on a tablet device? So start with your website. Does it work? And then what are you going to do to enhance your digital edition on tablets? Next revenue trend, product-specific email blasts. We've talked about them before. Product-specific email blasts are going to dominate the market in 2013. You're probably going to cry when you say this, but editorial email blast. That's the email blast that you send each month that you got hours of time on that contain editorial updates in the magazine on the website. The tip of those is, in most cases, is actually on the downward trend, and I predict it's going to continue to be on the downward trend. What do people want? They want specific product showcases or specifics when it comes to email blasts. This is an example I used several years ago. Customers of mine that have switched to this format for product-specific e-blasts have had some really, really great successes. And we talked in great detail about this at the Niche Magazine Conference and the Niche Digital Conference I was just at. Discussing this, we've got a couple of customers making in excess of $60,000 a year just from product-specific blasts. What's it going to look like? What should it look like? They're going to look similar to this, where you're going to have a photo, you're going to have some text about the product, and a link over to their website or to yours. You might have one, though, that's a legal update, so like a legal minute. Maybe you have one that is an IT minute if you're a B2B magazine. If you're a consumer magazine, you might have best restaurants. You might have best nail polish tips. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, but again, you have to plan in advance to lay these things out. Advertisers are typically not going to want to be a part of your editorial push in 2013 and beyond. Instead, they're going to want to be a part of a product-specific push with your data list and target that list. The more you target on that list, the more expensive it gets. Don't sell yourself short. It's so important for us to remember this from the past. Give it away. It's so hard to charge for it later on. So product-specific email blasts, plan them out, understand them, get some advice on it, and really rock it in 2013 and beyond. You've heard about the cloud. Ooh, everything lives in the cloud, cloud-based computing. And a lot of folks, really don't understand what the cloud is all about. And I want you to be able to look at a graphic today to understand what it really means. So we have all of these different things, if you will, that are connecting all around the web. So you might sit on your PC, You might be on your mini notepad. You might be on your PC laptop. There's remote servers, database, your phone, and everything connects wirelessly to the Internet. Up on the Internet, there typically is going to be some type of storage server or some type of storage device out there. And when people say it lives in the cloud, when your data lives in the cloud, it's living actually out on the Internet on a server space somewhere, So when someone says we offer cloud-based services, what that means is that your different devices, your PC, your mobile, your databases, your remote servers, your laptops, all are going to connect and sync with this cloud database device. When I'm looking at software, I'm buying software as a service that's in the cloud because I really want to host in the cloud. I want security updates and patches to be continuously updated. I'm not looking to debate about the cloud. What I'm looking for you to understand is that you need to be where users live, So if they're on an iPhone, and continuously connected to iCloud for their backup, then you need to make sure that your products are available in the iTunes store, that they're on the Apple Newsstand, as an example. The podcasts are in the iTunes store. You need to make sure that you live where your people are. If all of your folks are connecting through Amazon Prime, as an example, well, what we're going to do in 2013 to make sure that your products, your subscriptions, if you're an Amazon Prime member, can you get print copies and book copies of your magazine? Yes or no on that one? Amazon Prime. Are you a member or a part of the Barnes & Noble store for people that are using Nook? See, what you do is ask yourself, so everything's living in the cloud. That's great. We need to be where our users are. So because of that, it's so important for you to just really think about Where are you going to go? Where do you want to be? What's our plan to be in all those places? See, a lot of times publishers at this point will just shut down. They'll just shut the conversation because they'll say, you know what, Ryan? I barely have enough time. I have enough time for my salespeople to sell into the next issue. I can share with you that should be so comforting that I hope will be really helpful to you today is you plan in advance. A, doesn't cost a lot of money to make it happen. And planning in advance makes things so much smoother, so much more easy to accomplish if you plan in advance. So you start now. You want to start thinking 6 months down the road, and you tackle things in bite-sized chunks. Let's just say that you're saying to me right now, listen, we do have a Twitter account, and we want to get that to embrace that more. Great. The thing for us to do then is to find out how many people with your demographic or world within your universe actually live out there on Twitter. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the best resource for you. Maybe you need to go with Facebook. Maybe Facebook isn't the best resource for you. Maybe you need to be on the iTunes store, the Apple newsstand. Seek some advice on that. But just remember something. When it comes to the cloud, it's so important for you to understand that the personal cloud lives out there. People are connecting to the cloud, and it's getting more and more personal than ever before. Okay? Going forward on social or on tech trends, social media madness. Now, there's 100 ways to say this, but remember something. You can be hyper-local. You can be global. The big thing for me is I want to sell it. I want to be a part of social media. So how do we plan for 2013 as far as trends go? How do we price it? Now, I know you probably can't see this super well on your screen, but what is Facebook as an example? Okay? What I want to do is I want to find out. Here's a particular post. Okay? This post right here was placed on the Facebook page 9/10/2012. Okay. It reached 121 individuals. Now look here. This magazine has 613 fans. Do you see that up here at the top? Okay, fans. They actually made this post. It only reached 121, okay, of those 613. The more number, though, is how many people did something with it? 5. 5 people did something with it. So you can't really go to an advertiser and say, hey, I've got 613 people, so pay me $1,000. You have to understand that pricing out social media is somewhere between $75 and $125 $1,000. So in this, you might charge, say, $75 or something like that. But I know the number of people that engaged with something. This is a number that I want to own. Only 5 people engaged with that particular post. Look over here. Under the viral statistics, 3.31% did something with it virally. Look at the post, 0.91%. Horrible. So the post is, I don't want to repeat it. So as a planning for 2013, something that you may really want to consider is, are we going to actually look at the statistics of our Facebook posts? Yes, we are. What are we going to do with those statistics? We're going to look at the posts and figure out which ones our readers got excited about. Then we're going to repeat posts like that. We're going to look at the ones that were in the dumps, okay, like this one right here. Look at the one here that's in the dumps, and we're not going to repeat those type of posts, okay, not. What all too often happens, though, is that these type of statistics from Facebook are never looked at. So as a strategy, you have data. Use that data. We really want to make sure that we're using that data to our advantage. It's so unbelievably important. So this is insights from Facebook. It's very, very easy to find when you go to ads and click on the reporting tool. It's just a matter of you needing to do it. Now you can also here set this up in this upper right-hand corner of Facebook and types of trends and charts sent to you on a weekly basis. So it's important for you to really check those out. Here's an Facebook sponsored post. I'm going to spend so much time on it because we've talked about it in the past, but you'll notice right here that it actually says sponsored. Can everybody see that right there at the top? And so this is a magazine. So this is obviously this entire post is a post, and then of course they've got an image that's here. I recently attended a webinar. A great thinker in the social media space is a woman named Mari Smith, M-A-R-I Smith, and she's a great marketer as well. So go to her website, check her out, and she's a Facebook guru, and she's probably made several $1 million, from it. So I really want you to understand, how Facebook works and how you can sell into it. And I have found Facebook sponsored posts to be extremely lucrative for my customers, my publishing customers. I have one that is right now will do anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 a quarter, just based on Facebook posts alone. Usually I want to see one commercial post for maybe every 10 to 15 non-commercial posts, but that's really going to be up to you. You write them in such a way that they're a reader benefit. So I actually found that the majority of our readers actually like commercial posts because they're of some, maybe it's Pinterest. Maybe Pinterest is where you want to go. We don't know. It might be Honey Boo Boo might have the next social media empire here that we're all going to need to be a part of. Who knows? Gosh, that's not the case, but who knows? We just want to make sure that we're vibrantly ready and prepared to embrace where social media falls forward with it. Okay? So you're asking yourself, oh man, that's a bunch of good thought. What is going to be action plan to put these things together? Number one, that you want to take bite-sized chunks. Okay, did you write that down? You want to write it down. I got 5 points for you. 1, start small. Think and then start small. Today, gosh, I wish I remember who told me this, but they say take every idea that you have. It was Chris Minnick from Minnick Web Services. Talking about an app. Take your big idea and half. Okay, that half and cut that in half, and then you'll get to a chunk that you could actually potentially manage. So, number one of our action plan is think smart and start small. Okay. Number 2, people are more passionate when they participate in the project. PPPP, 6 P's. People are more passionate when they're asked to participate in the project. Just thinking about these things within the IT department or leadership level, I would very much encourage you to involve the greater staff. A lot of these folks have more time in their hands than you do. Spend a lot more time with new technology, so you really make sure that you get them on board. People who are passionate when they participate in projects. I guess to say that simply, you want to get better buy-in. Okay. Number 3, what are we going to do about mobile and tablets? Okay. What are we going to do about mobile and tablets? If I had to do one thing from a mobile perspective in 2013, I want to very much make sure that my work works on my mobile and my tablet devices, and consider some old school methods to stand out from the crowd. These are easy to do. Most freelancers, when they are an article, will interview somebody and they'll record it. Get permission, obviously, and record those interviews. Now, you might need to edit them a little bit, in iMovie or in Audacity or something like that, okay? But you want to make sure that those interviews are so awesome and make them available to people on podcasts. But you could also, from a podcast perspective, put some podcasts, make them available on iTunes in a sequential way, some how-to articles, sponsored, legal advice that can be sponsored, business advice that can be sponsored, up-and-coming happenings for the weekend that can be sponsored. They can all be in video and on mobile. Remember something, if phones are going to outpace connectivity, then please, you need to do something, make it smart on mobile devices. One of the things you might think about on idea number 3 here from a mobile perspective is, does my website operate efficiently, okay, on an iPhone? Okay, and go and look at the website and then make some changes. Okay, so that's number 3. Okay, 4. When it comes to making money from social media, what is going to be our plan for 2013? Stop talking about it. Let's start getting something done, people. Let's start doing it. Okay. Remember, pricing is going to be somewhere between $75 and $100,000. Remember, we've got to look at engagement. What are people actually doing with the posts? Okay? 5th, and the action plan. Do it. Do something. Write it down. Commit to it, and do it. So often I'll talk to a publisher, and I'd like to get together on the phone for 60 minutes. Okay? I usually say, well, great. Let's schedule 45, because that's probably about all you're going to be able to handle. Then they send me through 5 topic points for 45 minutes. write them back and say, of the 35, pick 3 that we spend time on. Today I met with a great publisher of an excellent magazine right before we recorded this webinar. And they had about 17 talking points. And when you really have a thorough discussion, you might be able to get through 3. Okay, you might get through 3 of those talking points. So remember something, you just really want to whittle down that list, but you want to do something. I mean, get with the program in 2013. Remember, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. I think Tony said that. If you always do what you've always done, you only get what you've always gotten. So remember, you really need to do something bigger, badder, and better. Revenue trends in 2013. You guys, I don't mean to be preachy, and I don't mean to get all spiritual with you. The thing to remember is we've got a lot of money that's going to be on the table in 2013. What are we going to do to claim some of that money? It's going to start with planning. A lot of it is going to start, with an action plan. And when it comes to revenue tech trends, I think that there's just so many ways, for us to bake this cake. And if you need advice or you need thought leadership on that, reach me. As a part of being a customer of Shweiki's, you always receive a 25% discount from me. That's significantly on all of our working together. And I'm real thrilled to be a part of the Shweiki Partnership Program here and providing these webinars. And I hope you find them useful. If the topic that you'd like to see discussed, be sure to reach out to me. Email address is ryan@360adsales.com, or reach out to the Shweiki team as well. Well, best of luck, everybody, in 2013. I hope the revenue tech trends has been something that's been helpful to you. And if you missed something, I tried to make sure every one of these applied directly to the publishing business. So get out there and get planning. Let's make some money in 2013. Take care, everybody.